Hey everyone, this is your girl Shay with Writers Vlogs, and this day we're going to be vlogging, recapping, reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac Season 2, Episode 9. And you know this episode is picking up where the last one left off. Now y'all know I had to just do the last one really quick because I was sick last week, so I'm doing 2 videos in one day. Now, this one picks up where War of Darbys left off, where they were really getting into it, battling it out over this whole restaurant situation. Today we see, I guess it's the day after the event, the big dinner and everything that they threw with the critics and everything. And so Ashley's sort of going over the reviews, everything that they've gotten, and trying to see how people responded to the food, I guess. And while she's doing that, she's reading it. It looks like she got a couple of really good reviews, so that's good. Kudos to her, because she pulled it off even though her husband was being a pain in the behind. So, you know, she's doing that, and in walks who but the husband, Michael Darby, the one who owns the restaurant, because he's going to make sure she knows he owns that thing, and whatever he says goes. Well, at least that's how he was making it last episode. So he comes in, she's telling him, you know, look, we're going over the cards for the restaurant, whatever. Oddly enough, I don't know if y'all caught this. I'm one of those people, I kind of read body language a little bit, just sometimes, not all the time, you know. I'm not an expert, but occasionally I look at certain things. And if you watch that episode, the very beginning when he's walking in, did you see how that bartender was looking at him? I don't think that bartender cares for him too much. Maybe it was just me, but the bartender is, I don't know. Maybe the bartender has heard them arguing or something, and he sided with Ashley. I don't know. I mean, I guess probably most of the people in there probably side with Ashley because they don't want to serve kangaroo because they don't eat kangaroo either. So, but anyway, the way he was looking at him, you know, the eyes are the windows of the soul. So, he didn't look like he was too happy with him. I don't think he's too happy with him. Ashley not too happy with him. And, you know, they go to talk, and, you know, he wants to apologize and say that he's sorry. And then they kind of get back into the conversation. And, you know, he says he's sorry, but he doesn't really apologize for the fact that he just told her he was going to shut the restaurant down. Like, if that's supposed to be your business partner, why are you just telling her what you're going to do? Why aren't you getting her input? Why don't you care how she feels? And I think that she is still stuck on that. She's still upset about it. And so, you know, they were kind of like having a little back and forth. It wasn't as bad as last episode, but they were having a little back and forth about, you know, just the way he handled the situation and the way he feels like she handled the situation. And I have to say, I just don't think they're good business partners. I don't know about how they are as life partners because I'm not, you know, privy to everything that happens in their marriage. But as far as business partners goes, they are like oil and water as far as I'm concerned. They want 2 very different things with one restaurant. Like, you can't pull a restaurant in that many directions. You have to have, I mean, I don't run a restaurant, but it's like common sense. You have to have the certain things that you want. Like, you have to put that into place, have your program set up, make sure that your customers understand what they're coming to receive. Are they getting Australian food? Are they getting, you know, basically what's traditionally American cuisine? Is it a steakhouse? Is it a burger restaurant? Like, what are y'all running? Like, you can't have 2 owners who want 2 very different things. And it looks like when push comes to shove, you know, he might bend a little bit. He bend a little bit and let her change a couple things on the menu, or he'll bend a little bit and let her have some people over to critique the restaurant or how the new menu is. But for the most part, it doesn't look like he is going to change it that much. I mean, maybe later on he'll get with the program, but as far as I can see, he's not really into it. And both of them are so very stubborn. I don't know how far this relationship is going to go. It looks like they're kind of both know-it-alls. I like her, but she is a know-it-all, and so is he. And it's like, I don't know if 2 know-it-alls can be happily married. And they're both, like I said, stubborn. They both have an ego. It's not looking too good. Plus, it's got to be, like a 30-year age difference? I mean, what do you have in common? Like, he was probably married with kids when she was a toddler. And no shade, but I mean, I guess that's shade, but I don't mean it as shade, but I'm just saying, like, they already probably struggle to want the same things. Like, she's in her 20s. He looks like he's got to be in his 50s, probably pushing 60s. It might be his early 50s. I'll be nice and say early 50s. I don't know. But they just don't look like they have that much in common to me. And I don't really know how far they'll be able to push this thing because, baby, it's looking like it's a little bit of a mess right about now. And I don't know how long they're going to last with that. Okay. Then, we move on to Charisse, Monique, Karen, and Giselle. They all meet up for lunch. And Karen, I guess, calls herself wanting to mediate the situation between Monique and Giselle. I don't know if that situation is going to be mediated very well. I don't know if they ever going to be friends. I just think that they both rub each other the wrong way, and both of them kind of are looking at each other like, girl, I don't rock with you. Another one like, girl, I don't rock with you either. Like, I don't think that Karen is going to be able to mediate much of anything, quite frankly. I think that this is on them. And we just all sitting back witnessing it. It's entertaining, though. I will say that. But, yeah, I don't know what she's going to mediate. Karen wants to mediate the situation. So, like I said, it's Charisse, Monique, Karen, Giselle at lunch. And Karen wants to mediate the situation. Monique, she's just looking at Giselle like, girl, what's the problem? Like, what's the tea? What's your issue? Let me know what the problem is, and we can have a discussion. And Giselle's like, she said something like, to be quite honest with you. And then all of a sudden she started choking. And she was like choking like, like your food going down the wrong way or something, or you drank something too fast. That's how she was choking. And Monique is like, you choking because you was about to tell a lie. You choking on that lie. I was laughing so hard. Like, no, you did not. That girl was choking on a lie. Like, it was funny. Monique, she throw some cute little shade. I'm telling you, she is a good addition. She keep them on their toes. And I was cracking up. She was like, you was choking on that lie. And after that, they had their little small talk or whatever, but they quickly got into the conversation of, Monique having had called Giselle a trick. Now, I'm not sure if Monique apologized, because I know her pastor wanted her to apologize. I'm not sure if she did, but she did, like, describe what she was saying, because when she called her a trick, I thought she meant, like, she a hoe. That's what I thought she was saying. Like, you called a girl a hoe? Like, damn, y'all don't even know each other like that. But she described it as, when she called her a trick, she just meant like she's immature. She playing games. Tricks are for kids. And I remember when I was younger, people used to say tricks are for kids, like you and your mama. I was like, ooh. So I guess that's where Monique was like, she didn't say anything about Giselle's mom, obviously, but she was like, she was just kind of saying like, you being immature, you playing games. And the situation came up where they were at Karen's event for victims, survivors of sexual assault and all that. And Monique had asked Giselle for her phone number. And, I guess Giselle didn't like the way that Monique asked for it. I didn't think it was anything wrong with the way Monique asked for a number. I think that in the moment, Monique was probably already a little uncomfortable. It seemed like watching it, to me, she looked uncomfortable. But at the same time, she knew that it was the best thing for her to try to reach out and squash the situation. So she was going to do that, even though she wasn't that comfortable with it. And I think that instead of Giselle recognizing that and seeing that as, okay, maybe she's trying to extend the olive branch, maybe we can, call each other or meet up, talk, whatever the case may be. Instead of seeing it like that, Giselle just seen it like, oh, you shoved your phone at me. And I don't think that it was that. I think that Monique was kind of uncomfortable about how to approach the situation, and Giselle didn't kind of make it any better. I get that, Giselle doesn't like the fact that she's heard Monique has said things about her, but that situation of her trying to get you to talk to her on the phone and all that stuff, that was not a big deal. So why take this and amplify it in such a way? You know what I mean? Make a a mountain out of a molehill. That just made me think of Real Housewives of New York, and Ramona said, making a mountain out of a whole meal. I was cracking up. But anybody who watched Real Housewives of New York, you probably seen that episode. But anyway, I just thought that in the moment, maybe she was uncomfortable with the way she asked you for your phone number, but I don't think she did it in like a rude way or in a way that should have given you pause or made you be like, ugh. I think that Giselle just doesn't like Monique. So at this point, she can, I don't want to say nitpick, but It wasn't that big of a deal. Like, just admit you just don't want to talk to her. You didn't want to give her your number. Don't make it seem like, because I mean, yeah, she did push her phone towards her, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let me get your number. But then Monique was like, she act like I was saying it like I want to get in her panties. Like, girl, I'm not trying to date you. I'm just trying to squash the beef or whatever. And I think that really the reason why Monique did it is because her pastor told her it was the right thing to do. And I applaud her for trying to take that step, but I think that it was one step forward, two steps back, because Gizelle didn't see it the way that Monique was trying to present it. I don't think that they ever gonna be friends, to be quite honest. I don't see it. I really don't see it. Like, and I don't know how anybody would. Like, some housewives you can see, like, okay, maybe they'd be able to squash their beef, they'd be able to get along. Them two, I don't think so. And so when she was talking about all of this stuff, and I guess, you still got an attitude that she called you a trick, which Gizelle was well within her right to have a problem with it. Like, don't call me out of my name. So then, but she started talking about that Monique was saying hood trash or trick trash or something like that. And I was like, I guess that's the language she speaks, is hood trash or trick trash, whatever. I don't know. Just let's refrain from calling each other tricks. Let's just say that. I do like Monique, but that was the one she could have refrained from that one. She didn't need to add that in there. She didn't need to call her a trick. But these two, I'm just like, girl, bye. And then while they having a little discussion or whatever, I'm like, finally, they're going to be able to get this off their chest, say what they got to say, and then move on. But no, Charisse had to stop that moment and make it about herself and start crying about how she is going through a hard time and she just needs friends. And I'm like, okay, don't get me wrong. Charisse probably is going through a hard time. You know, her kids are growing up and she's probably going to have like an empty nest pretty soon. And then she's getting a divorce and all this stuff. So yes, you are going through a hard time. No, nobody's questioning that. But the timing of her bringing it up, like, let them have their conversation. I think that in that moment, Charisse was kind of making it about herself just a little bit. And Karen kind of pointed that out. And she was like, if you want that moment, then I'll invite you to lunch and bring a box of tissues or something like that. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, I feel like, and then the scene kind of ended at that moment. So if Charisse hadn't jumped in and sort of switched the subject, changed the subject, and made it about herself, they may have actually been able to hash it out and squash it in that moment. But because the subject was changed from what they were discussing to what Charisse was going through, don't get me wrong, she is going through a lot, but you kind of made that moment about yourself, when if you had just took a step back, they may have been able to resolve it. Granted, they don't like each other, but they may have gotten to a place where they like, okay, we not that cool, but we can be cordial, whatever. But you didn't even let that moment happen because you had to turn around and take that moment and make it about yourself. And I just thought that, I really do like you, Charisse, but that moment was not the moment, because I think it completely stopped them from being able to finish the conversation, because the subject was changed to, what Monique is going through. And I don't think that not what Monique is going through, what Charisse is going through, excuse me. I don't think that Charisse was like, I don't think she's like a self-centered kind of person or anything like that. I just think that in that moment, there's a better way she could have went about it. She would have been like, you know what, the two of y'all are my friends, so how can we, stop this situation and get y'all to be cool or whatever. Instead of saying, oh my God, y'all my friends, yeah, I'm going through a lot. It was not in any way progressing the situation. That was not a productive way to get into the conversation and make things, be better. It kind of just stopped everything in its tracks. So now they're still going to have another conversation, because the moment where they could have handled it and finished it was kind of ruined. I feel bad that Charisse is going through a lot. Of course I do. Who wouldn't? But I just think that in that very moment, she kind of needed to take a step back and let them handle it as two grown women, and she didn't. Just my point of view. Okay, so breezing right on through, we move on to Monique and Chris and their cute little family at home, and they're getting ready to plan a party for their precious little girl. I think her name is Milani. She is so cute, and their son Chris is cute too. I have baby fever, so I'm always looking at the kids, but Yeah, so it's Milani's birthday, and she's about to be 1 year old. And they're talking about how they're gonna throw her this party at their home. I think it's at Newburgh, Maryland, or something like that. I'm not really familiar with all the places in Maryland, but they're gonna plan her a party, and they're planning at their home, and they show these like images of the house, and it's like 26 acres, 5,500 square feet. The pool just looked so beautiful. I was like, oh, that is fabulous. Like, Monique lives a fabulous life, and maybe that's why Giselle don't like her that much. That's what Monique keeps hinting at anyway. But yeah, so they're doing that, and it was so funny listening to her talk about this party that she's throwing for her baby. And her husband is like, are you under budget? And she's like, well, what was the budget? He like 20 grand. And I'm like, for a party for a 1-year-old girl, it must be nice. I can't even hate on it. Do you, boo? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, if you got it, you can't take it with you, so you might as well enjoy it now. And she's like, well, she telling in the confessional, like, it's more like 25 to 30,000, but he don't need to know that. And I'm just like, hey, if you got it, do you? I probably would put that money in some stocks and bonds, but if they have a lot of real estate and stuff, they probably do. They probably have a lot of real estate. I think she said 4 homes or something like that. I'm sure they have, some money invested in all that stuff. So if you could spend 20 grand on a kid's party, 30 grand, I'm like, I don't know if I would do it, but then again, I don't have the money to do that. Like, not too many people do though. So it's good. Sometimes it's good to watch these housewives shows, and you can live vicariously through them. Like, wow, it must be nice. You know what I mean? I'm not hating on it. I like it. You like it, I love it. That's all I'm saying. So, that was cute. And she did say she's not inviting Giselle. And I thought her husband was going to be like, oh, you should invite her. And he was just like, nah, if y'all not vibing, why even have her there? And fair enough. Her husband support her, so that's all that matters. If your husband happy, then what does it matter, Happy wife, happy life, happy husband, happy life. So they look like they were doing well. So we move on, and then, we see Karen. She finally got her a cash offer on her home, so she has finally sold her home. But I'm just like, how is it that you had your home? Because supposedly her home was on the market for a long time. So why haven't you found a home yet? Like, if you knew you were selling your house, why didn't you find something else? Yeah, and I think that's going to set the stage for some drama coming up, because, I don't know if y'all saw the previews before the season started, but it looked like it's going to be a lot of drama about a home she's renting or something like that. And they show clips of her looking at homes in Virginia. And Charisse even threw some shade later on in the episode, like, all these homes in Potomac, why hasn't she found a home yet? Now, granted, she may just be picky. Some people are picky. They like a certain standard. They used to certain things. People always throwing shade at her kitchen, but you can't deny that was still a nice house. All you had to do was upgrade the kitchen, and it was a couple things that you could change, but overall, that was a nice house. Everybody throwing shade at her house, but it's not a lot of people who could say that they live in a home that large. It was pretty. I liked the home. If you didn't, tell me why. But I liked it. I thought it was cute. Well, anyway, so she finally, got her cash offer or whatever. But my thing is, this show is called The Real Housewives of Potomac. And if I'm not mistaken, Potomac is in Maryland. So why are you looking at homes in Virginia? That would start people to thinking like, maybe she don't have the money that, and granted, you shouldn't really judge like, oh, girl, I'm not talking about your finances because you don't want somebody else talking about yours. However, Karen opened herself up to a lot of criticism by calling her husband a Black Bill Gates. The Black Bill Gates can buy the whole block. He don't need just one house. You get what I'm saying? Like, have you heard about Bill Gates' home? Like, I never mind. Supposedly he has a really nice home. But, wouldn't you if you had that kind of money? I'm just saying, like, you going around on national television calling your man the Black Bill Gates, and you looking for rentals. You can't get your kitchen redone. Like, I think that's why people was really shading her kitchen. It wasn't just that the home wasn't nice, because obviously the home was gorgeous. But, the kitchen wasn't. But the home, no shade, but the home was beautiful. But I think the reason why people throwing her shade is like, are you going around? That's like calling your husband like the Black Warren Buffett or something like that, and then you got to get a rental. Like, they got enough money that they could buy that house and sell it tomorrow and not care. So, Karen, I really like Karen, but she has opened herself up to a lot of criticism. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You tell me what you think. So anyway, Robyn, she goes to therapy. I think that she had met with Dr. Jeff. I believe it was either last episode or the episode before last, and Charisse had set that up. And because all the girls are sort of worried about Robyn, want to make sure she's doing okay. So Dr. Jeff then refers her to another therapist, a nice lady who she's talking to, and the lady is asking her, "Hey, do you want to date? What do you want to do? Like, are you waiting on this man?" And I think that Robyn has finally come to grips, whatever you want to say, about certain things, like the fact that people have really started talking about Juan dating other people. And I guess honestly, nobody wants to play boo-boo the fool, right? Nobody wants to be the person who is sitting there being faithful to somebody who, first of all, won't claim them, because y'all not really in a relationship, and y'all have made that very clear from the beginning. So he not claiming you, and you not really claiming him. Y'all divorced. Y'all sleep in the same bed, but he's seeing other people. How long are you going to keep giving this man your heart while he's trying to get somebody else's? You feel me? So I think that it's good that Robyn is talking to other people, because she's, like I said, a beautiful lady. She deserves to be happy. She deserves to be in a relationship with somebody who is going to take a step back and give her the love and affection and attention that she needs. And so I was happy to see that. So kudos to Robyn for finally going, because in some other episodes, she was really against the idea of going. And, I'm glad she did, because, she talked about the fact that he was her high school sweetheart. They have been married for 7 years and all this stuff. I'm sure that has to be difficult. I'm pretty sure he's her first love. He may be her only love. So that's gotta hurt, But at the same time, she wants you gotta want your sons to see you be a strong woman, and because you're showing them what type of woman they should look for in the future. If you had daughters, you showing them what type of woman they should want to be in the future. So I'm glad that she's finally taking a step back and being like, you know what? Let me do something that's good for me, but also good for my children. I guess that for her children right now is not a problem, but after a while it's going to get old, because at some point her kids are going to grow up and realize that their parents are in a loveless marriage. So why not just fix the situation now while you can? But kudos to Robyn for going, because I know that she said she was against doing that, and she talked about not wanting to be disappointed, and a lot of people don't want to be disappointed. They probably don't. Not probably. You don't want your heart broken again, especially when your heart was broken and a person cheated on you, which that's what he did. And now he's seeing other people. So clearly, habits, what is it? Bad habits die hard, or old habits die hard, or whatever it is. So, you might as well keep it moving, baby, because he definitely is. Why not do you? He doing him. And maybe other people, but I don't know. So, yeah, then we move on. Let's keep it pushing, okay? So it's Charisse and Karen, and they're at Charisse's house by the pool. Charisse's house is so beautiful. I love it, love it. I was reading online, some people were like, she really shouldn't do a champagne room. I'm like, well, I think it would be nice to do a champagne room, because rich people, they get tired of seeing all the same things in the same people's house, and all this, everybody's house got the same thing. But a lot of people were like, she should have left it as an office and just remodeled the office. I guess because everybody wants an office, especially if you got that kind of money. You probably doing a lot of business. But I love Charisse's house. It is so cute. Anyway, so they're at Charisse's house, just Charisse and Karen. They by the pool. And I could tell that they about to get into it, because Charisse was throwing some major shade, okay? Like solar eclipse shade, okay? It was just like, I don't know how you really come back from that. She was just handing out palm trees left and right. It was crazy. They were talking about how, Karen brought up the fact that she got the cash offer on her house. And Charisse is like, oh, okay, so you got the cash offer. Why wouldn't you just stay there? And she's like, I was ready to move and all this stuff. And Charisse was like, I don't want to move. I'm going to keep these memories. It kind of felt like Charisse was hinting like they don't really have bread like that, so they have to move because, maybe they ain't got the money for the upkeep of that house or something like. It was just like, she never actually said it, but I was getting the implications. You know what I mean? Because it was seeming like it was being implied, because she said something like, she said in her confessional, like, the Black Bill Gates had to keep reducing the price of his home. And but that wouldn't really have to do with how much money they're worth. That would just have to do with the fact that it's overpriced when people have to put money into it, because nobody's going to take that house as is and not change that kitchen and update some things in that house. So that's why they had to keep I'm really into real estate. So, I mean, it has nothing to, reducing the price of the home has nothing to do with how much money they're worth. That has to do with whoever listed their home. Either they set the price too high, or what I'm thinking is that Karen wanted too much money and didn't realize that people weren't going to pay that much money to have to come in and update your house. But that's just what it is. So, she's making a little comments or whatever, but I get what you're saying, because if you the Black Bill Gates or whatever, because you got to keep saying it, because Karen said that all season 1. She has said it some moments in season 2, the Black Bill Gates. Okay, if you really the Black Bill Gates and you wanted to move because you wanted to make new memories or whatever, you could have decided not even to sell that house. You could have either chose to rent it out and just got some rental income off that house, or you could have just bought a second home. Like, you look at Monique, she just bought a home in Potomac. She got a house 2 hours away in Newburgh where she throwing her daughter's birthday party. So if you really got money like that, why couldn't you just keep the house and move to another house, and you would still have that other home in your real estate portfolio? So I like Karen, I really do, but I'm not one of those people who do reviews and I'm just completely biased. Like, even if I like you, I'm gonna tell how I really feel about it. Like, I like Karen, but your story not holding up. Like, if y'all money this long, people who really got that long money like that, if they not going to get the amount they want for the house that they are about to sell, you know what they do? They take that house off the market. They'll still go move and be like, we'll sell it when the market is ready for us to sell it. Or she would have took it off the market and renovated that kitchen, put the money into the kitchen, put a little more money into the house, because you got the money, right? You married to the Black Bill Gates. Y'all should have the money to put $10,000-$15,000 in the kitchen, redo the kitchen, and then sell it. So, yeah, Charisse is kind of calling her bluff, like, boo, I don't believe you. And like I said, they were looking in Virginia. If your money that long, why you not looking in Potomac? Supposedly Potomac is, kind of expensive to live in with the mansions that I keep seeing. It must be some really nice homes there. So it's looking like she needs to stop calling that man the Black Bill Gates. I think she set herself up for failure by giving him that nickname. I honestly do. I don't think she did herself any favors, because now every time she runs into an issue that has to do with anything financial, the first thing people gonna say is, where's the money from Black Bill Gates? And Charisse was just like laying it on there, like, girl, she was calling your bluff. She really was. And you really don't have a response for it. So she was just throwing a lot of shade, and she was like, yeah, why is it that Monique bought a house bought a house with no problem, and you still looking if you got money like that? So, I mean, she did have a good point, and I guess I'm pretty sure all the shade that Charisse and Karen throwing each other is going to come up on the reunion. I don't know what they beef is. They kind of got into it last year's reunion, so maybe it's some unresolved issues there. At first, I thought that they was cool this year, but clearly not, because Charisse was like giving her a couple of backhands in them confessionals. She had a lot of stuff to say. Now, I kind of think it would have been real bossy if Charisse had said it to her face, but the fact that she said it, and she said it on national television, believe me, it's going to come up. I can't wait to the reunion. I can't wait. Oh, I'm counting down the time. I'm putting it on my calendar. Okay. So anyway, they talk about the fact that they want to go to Bermuda. And I guess it's Karen's idea. This is going to come up later in the episode, but it's Karen's idea, and she wants Charisse's help. And Karen, like, well, if she just sold her house, why she need to up and take a vacation? I didn't really understand what Charisse was saying. Like, what does her selling her house have to do with whether or not she want to go on a vacation? So what? It's her money. Well, it's not really her money. It's Bravo's money. But if she want to go on vacation, she can. Like, maybe Charisse could explain that at the reunion, because I didn't understand her point of saying she just sold her house. Why she want to go on a vacation? I didn't get it. Now, maybe Charisse said, I don't know. I don't know what she meant. But, I like Charisse, but she throw some shade too. She got a cute little house too. I like Charisse, but I like all of the girls. Some of them annoy me more than others, but for the most part, I like them all. Anyway, so they want to go to Bermuda. They tell all the girls. I did think it was funny that Giselle said she wanted to throw I always call her Monique. Giselle said she wanted to throw Monique in the Bermuda Triangle. I thought that was funny. I was like, Y'all really do not like each other, do y'all? So speaking of Monique, we move on to Milani's birthday party. You know, she went all out. She got the petting zoo. She got the valet in her backyard. She got it's like a pool that you dunking people in and all this stuff. I like, okay, girl, do you? That 1-year-old is not gonna remember 1 ounce of that party, but she will have it on video so she can watch it later when she's older. So it's not like her sweet 16 like the MTV show. It's like her sweet 12 months, but it's cute. It was really cute. I liked it. Her parents were there. Her parents are some good looking people. Like, I don't know how old her parents were when they had her, but you know, they say black don't crack. And I've seen some black that does crack. Now, I'm just saying, no shade, I have. But her parents are really good looking people. And she's, you know, they have a good looking family. They're all, you know, nice looking people, whatever. So she's having her party. Everybody's showing up. But, you know, okay, so it was 2 things that I noted in this whole scenario. One was Ashley talking to Monique's dad about relationships and stuff, and she was talking about how she liked control and all that stuff. I think that he was giving her some good advice. Like, sometimes you have to decide if you want to be happy or do you want to be right. And I really like that. And I think that she was taking it to heart because she actually pulled up a seat like, let me soak this in. That's what I like about Ashley. Ashley is not too... she has her moments of being a know-it-all, but she also is open-minded enough to hear from somebody who has the experience. I thought that was like a good moment that showed that, you know, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Sometimes you got to shut up and listen. And in that moment, she was all ears. And I like that. That was a good look for Ashley because she really wanted to know, and you could tell it was genuine and sincere. And Monique's dad was really like, you know, giving her some sound advice. I thought it was great. I might watch that part again and hear what else he had to say because he probably looked like he could just give some great relationship advice. Well, anyway, that happened. And then the second thing that I noticed, okay, let's jump to the get down, okay? What is going on between Charisse and Karen once again? So they sitting at the table and they talking about the Bermuda trip, and next thing you know, they throwing each other shade about, I guess Karen just wants Charisse to be her assistant. She don't really want her to help throw the party with her. She just want an assistant. And I'm just like, okay. Karen, Charisse is not going to be your assistant. Like, y'all supposed to be friends. I would never sit there and tell my friend, come be my assistant. Well, I mean, unless I'm paying them. But Charisse don't need the money, so I don't understand what the point of that was. You did ask for her help. Now you just saying, I don't really ask for your help. I mean, I asked for your help, but I want you to be subordinate to me. Like, girl, if you don't stop. But Charisse wasn't having it. Charisse was like, boom, boom, boom. No. I'm nobody's assistant. I'm co-hosting the party or whatever. And I swear, you know, housewives, they can argue over a party. I promise you they can. But, you know, it was a lot of shade being thrown. You know, Charisse pointed out the fact that, you know, at Karen's old parties, she really kind of, I think season 1, you know, she had that little gala. I thought it was called a gala, but a gala, whatever. And Katie from last year called it a podunk party, or I don't even know. Whatever, it was major shade about that party. It was some shade about her boat party or something like that. Like, they was, you know, basically making it look like Karen don't throw good parties. Like, Charisse throws the parties, and Karen is just at it. You know, she ain't good at it. She ain't terrible. She just, I guess, mediocre. I don't know. But Charisse wasn't having it. One thing I will say is, you know, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to talk about anybody. But y'all ladies, y'all are gorgeous women. But Charisse's hair at that party. Okay. You got Charisse, beautiful lady. Beautiful. But season 1, it was a whole issue about her hair and the hair. Giselle's friend walked in. It was like, oh, let's do something with your hair. I thought the way he did it was rude, but Charisse had some hair issues in season 1, and now in season 2, she having some hair issues. And then, you know, you got Giselle, who got the makeup line, but she got the hot pink eyeshadow on. And I'm just like, y'all are so beautiful. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's just killing me softly. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, You know, I sport a couple wigs. This is one of mine. You know, yeah, next time you see me, I might have on a different one. Okay, it is what it is. But I'm not on national television. You know what I'm saying? When you know you're going to be in people's homes on their TV, you got to bring it. If you selling a makeup line, make sure that your makeup is A1, because you are your own. You are the model for your brand. Like, it's been a couple episodes where, you know, Giselle's makeup was like, or her hair was, you know, the weave wasn't blended quite right. I love both Charisse and Gizelle, but they've been having some moments, and I'm not judging y'all. I really like y'all. Hopefully, you know, some people, you know, discuss it with you, and maybe season 3 we can have a different look. Can't wait to see what it looked like at the reunion, because child, it's just like, Charisse, especially you, boo. You got all that money, girl. You got to get you a hairstylist who don't. Maybe Charisse is like one of those girls who like to just throw her hair in a bun or something like that, and that's cool. It's nothing wrong with that. But just make sure that when you gonna be on TV and you going to a party, you going to all this stuff, just like, never mind. So anyway, Robyn and Gizelle, they meet up. They getting their lashes done. And Robyn brings up that Gizelle wasn't invited to the party. Giselle's like, I really don't care. If she invited me, I still wouldn't have went. I don't know if I believe that, but no, I can believe it, because Gizelle don't like her. So yeah, I was like, it makes sense that Gizelle wouldn't care, because you didn't even want to get a girl your phone number, so clearly you ain't trying to go hang out at her house. You know, so they had that little moment or whatever, and then Robyn fills Gizelle in about the party and how it was real awkward and how they was going back and forth, and you know, Gizelle was kind of throwing that shade like, yeah, I'd rather have Charisse throw it. I kind of feel like she kissing up to Charisse a little bit. That's just my opinion. Y'all tell me if y'all disagree or y'all agree, but I kind of feel like she kissing up to her a little bit, because she made Charisse mad by saying that Charisse was banging a firefighter or whatever. So now she wants to stay on Charisse's good side, so she's gonna say all positive, nice things about Charisse. However, Charisse does seem to throw good parties. I think season 1 she had a couple things that looked like they were put together well. And I think she was an event coordinator. She did some kind of coordinator for the NBA wives or whatever, and she threw parties for them and stuff like that. You know, because Charisse was like a real life basketball wife. And yeah, so they were throwing that kind of shade. They really want Charisse to throw it. And I just think the whole situation is awkward as hell. And you know, they got to Charisse talking about it, and Charisse like, I don't even know if Karen has a passport. Has she even been out the country? I'm like, oh, I don't know what happened between Charisse and Karen, but you can always tell on these housewife shows, when they start throwing a lot of shade to the person in their confessionals, you know it's about to go down in future episodes. You already can see it coming, because the confessionals, it's like, the minute that they start saying, girl, this is how I really feel about her, this what I really think about her, that's when you know the shit is about to hit the fan sometime soon. We don't know exactly when. Actually, I saw the previews. It's next episode, but we don't know exactly why it happened and all that. But you know it's coming, and it's for every housewife show, the New York, Beverly Hills, all of them. Whenever they start throwing shade, like major shade in their confessionals, that means it's a fight coming. It's on its way. It's a formula. They got it down pat. I'm telling y'all, pay attention to the confessionals, because that'll let you know who's gonna be getting into it later on down the line, just by the stuff that they say. And yeah, Charisse throwing a whole lot of shade. I love Charisse, but girl, do that hair. Charisse, with all that money, I think Charisse and Monique probably had the most money of all of the Housewives of Potomac. And Monique hair usually be cute, you know. But Charisse, like, you got to make it. You got to get snatched, girl. You got to walk out and let these chicks know who Charisse Jordan is, you know. Or I think it's gonna be Charisse Jackson or whatever. But child, like, come on, come through, Cookie. That just made me think of Andrew Caldwell. I love it. But anyway, yeah. So, girl, please. And then, and last but not least, we had Ashley and Michael at the pottery place. He wants to have kids. She's not really into it. I think that's very mature of her I don't think that she needs to be trying to bring a baby into the situation right now, because at first I think their agreement was that they would have a baby when the restaurant broke even. But now I think he's changing his mind because he sees how pissed off she is, and I think that he's trying to like bring it down a little bit and start giving her some concessions and giving her some of the stuff that she wants. And by doing that, you know, maybe he's trying to show like, hey, I'm in it with you and I'm willing to compromise and all these things. But she's like, I don't want to bring a baby into a situation like this. And I think that that is very mature of her. It shows a lot about Ashley. That, once again, makes me like her. Good thinking, Ashley, because if you and your man is getting into it or are getting into it like that, then it would make sense that you're not jumping up and down to have a baby right now, because maybe that's not the best thing for your relationship at this moment. But for the most part, it was a good episode. I really liked it. I can't wait to see this showdown next episode between Karen and Charisse, baby. Oh, it's going down. Oh, and did you see the clip at the end where they have Karen in a hotel room or something? I'm not sure who I think she was talking about Robyn, and she was like, mother effer this and all of that. And I was like, oh, you know, Karen don't really talk like that on the show. But now we get to see the Karen behind closed doors, honey. Uncensored. Well, it still was censored, but you know what I mean. So anyway, I'm excited to see that. So let me know in the comment section what y'all thought. This is Writer's Vlog. It's your girl Shay. Hope you enjoyed. See you next week. Mwah. Thank you for coming to Writer's Vlogs.
In the description box, you'll find
links to our social media,
blog,
and anything else you need to know.
Be sure to rate,
comment,
and subscribe to our channel.
Mwah.